I've been doing a few videos recently talking about different price predictions for Tesla in 2030, but today I wanted to go into a little bit more detail on something that I think will truly, if all goes well, change Tesla and the stock price forever and make Tesla the most valuable company in the world. Of course, we are talking about the Tesla bot, also called Optimus, which is a humanoid AI robot that is meant to be affordable, an affordable AI humanoid robot. This is a general purpose robot tasked with being useful primarily for unsafe, boring and repetitive tasks, but eventually so much more. And it's an extension of FSD, full self-driving. It will navigate the world using the same systems that were developed for the self-driving autopilot systems used in the cars. Tesla bots are being trained to do basic things, walking, picking things up, etc, etc. And they rely on the same neural network-powered artificial intelligence that is used in the Tesla cars. We humans have neural networks in our brains, and just like how we learn over time and experience, the bots will do the same. If you think about how we can watch a video of someone doing something and then we can copy what they're doing and we can replicate that and repeat that over time and get better at doing that thing, the bots are going to be doing a similar thing to that, and they will be trained with lots of data. For example, it's going to get to the point where you can show a bot a video of a human painting a wall. That bot will watch the video and then learn that skill. A one-time training exercise. Tesla cars are already gathering vast volumes of data on the roads for FSD. This means that Tesla has a data advantage, and in today's world, that is crucial. Data is money. So with their data already existing, they can then spend less time gathering data to train the bots and instead teach the bots navigation, which they actually already have, and creating a labeling system so that the bot can identify particular objects, and so much more. With all this data, and the data that will also be collected when the bots start doing stuff, Dojo is necessary. For those of you who have never heard of Dojo or don't know what it is, Dojo is basically Tesla's own supercomputer platform. And it was designed to be the fastest and most efficient AI learning supercomputer in the world. Now, I'm not sure it's definitely at that level yet, but it's definitely good. By the way, let's just pause for just a second here to consider that Dojo could become a sellable service, like Amazon Web Services offered to other companies. That's a big deal. The point here is that once the bots start doing stuff, useful stuff, they will collect data of them doing that stuff. This will then be collected and used to train all of the bots simultaneously. If you have 4 children, you have to teach the first child how to read, write, talk, walk, etc. But then when the second, third, and fourth child comes along, you have to start again. You don't just train one child how to do these things and then the rest of them automatically get it. But this is the case with the bots. The more there are, the faster and better they are at acquiring new skills. Because you don't have to teach each one separately, you can teach them all simultaneously. Also, the bots can move together, synchronized movement, meaning that you'll be able to control multiple bots at once, as they are all connected to the same neural networks. So they can perform tasks together, in sync, or individually, which is going to be huge for industry. Of course, big factories and warehouses already use automation and robotics right now. For example, in the Amazon factories, I know that they have robotics to move stock from one area to another. That already exists. But the point in the bot is not to be competing with those automations and robotics that are already out there. The point is that it's a human version of a robot, so it can be used for a variety of tasks. Also, a key point in why they're going to be used in factories is to allow them to be trained, ready to scale. So they're generalized, right? They're not going to be better than a robot that was specifically built to move stock from one area to another. They are not going to be out-competing those robots. But the point is, they will be able to do variety. Unlike other specialized robots that have been used in many different industries, such as the industrial robotic arms, social robots, cleaning robots, you know, them little hoovers that go around and clean your homes automatically. The unique differentiation of Optimus is that it's general purpose, meaning that it can perform many tasks. It aims to integrate the functions of many specialized robots to become multifunctional. The world has been adapted to work and fit the human structure. So it is incredibly smart to make a humanoid robot, one that mimics the human form, as this means it can just slot right in to our world as it currently exists. In the past, we have seen a significant shift from manual labour to machine manufacturing during the Industrial Revolution, which undoubtedly added tons of economic activity globally. This sort of levelling up of human civilization that we saw can happen again with these Tesla bots. Right now, our economy is capped by a GDP limit that is dependent on working people. But what if there was a way to have unlimited advanced robots that could replace human work? Or at least the human work that needs replacing because it's unsafe or people just aren't willing to do it. This is obviously a long way out. And right now, I don't even think these bots would be able to replace 2% of all jobs globally, even manual labour jobs. Because humans can do a lot of very delicate things, but these bots will learn over time. But when they are able to take on more jobs and add to the workforce, the economic value will go up again. We will see another shift. When you're an investor, you really have to judge competition to see if your stock, the one that you're backing, has a competitive edge. Now, there's another big player in the humanoid robotics area, Boston Dynamics, that was purchased by Hyundai. There is no denying that their robot, Atlas, is insane. It can literally run, jump and flip and do all sorts. It's very impressive. It has far greater dexterity, seemingly, than the Tesla bot. But they started building this over a decade ago, whereas Tesla first announced the Tesla bot in 2021. So think how far they've come with this bot in just such a short space of time. And it's because they had all the raw materials, talent, technology, AI, data, funds, manufacturing facilities, all of that already in place, needed to do this fast. Atlas also doesn't have fingers, which may seem like an odd thing to say, but fingers are actually pretty useful and can help us do a variety of tasks like sewing, chopping vegetables, etc. And also Atlas gets programmed by engineers, so it has to be programmed to do everything it can do, whereas the Tesla bot is able to learn to do things. That is a really big difference. But it's really important to note that these two bots were made and designed for different functions and real-world applications. They're not really as comparable as you may think. Also, Tesla has the money and ability to mass produce these things, whereas Boston Dynamics maybe doesn't to the same scale. So, demand. The potential demand is huge. Every household and business will eventually want more than one of these bots, providing that they can afford them, which we'll get onto in just a minute. So if the demand is one per adult, that eventually puts the demand for Tesla bots in the billions. So this could potentially be a higher demand for a single product than we've ever seen before. A higher demand than we've seen with the Tesla EVs. If it ends up being that companies want to order loads of Tesla bots and households want more than one of these things, then it means that the potential demand could be sitting at like 25 billion units. Right now, we employ humans and they on average work about 40 hours a week. But not all that time is spent doing useful work. Humans have bad days where they're tired or they're just in a bad, unproductive mood. They have to go on breaks, they chat to colleagues, they have lunches, they have paid time off, they have weekends, they have appointments, etc., etc. Whereas a bot doesn't need any of these things, meaning that its capacity to work is so much higher. A single bot could work pretty much 24/7. And it could replace like 4 workers. They will need to obviously recharge and have some time for maintenance, but even so, the level of work that a bot will be able to do compared to a human is massive. So a business would pay a human maybe like $22,000 a year for low skill factory work. That could be a little bit wrong, but about that sort of area. And this is for 40 hours of work a week that isn't even fully utilized work. But a bot could cost them about £16,000 and could do so much more. And this is obviously a one-time payment. You pay for the bot once, maybe you have to pay for some updates and some extra features, which we'll get onto later in the video, but a one-off payment, whereas you pay an employee every single year, you pay them a salary, however that works out. So who wouldn't want this? It's going to give businesses a competitive edge. I'm not really pro replacing people and putting people out of work. But if they are able to go and find more fulfilling roles and the bots can take on the repetitive, boring, maybe even unsafe work, then I am here for that. Tesla and SpaceX and potentially some of Elon Musk's other companies will be the first customers for these bots to employ them in their factories. Meaning straight off the bat, there is a consumer base and demand ready and waiting. Back in 2021, Elon said he was confident that the bots would be ready for production in 2023. And at AI Day in 2022, Elon Musk said that these things, the Tesla bots, are going to cost much less than a car, and maybe even will come under $20,000. The bot has a lot less raw materials in it than the cars do, so they should be able to mass produce them for cheaper and keep the profit margins really, really high. So when is this all going to happen? Well, I've heard a right mixture. But what I don't think there's that much debating about is the logical order that this will happen in. So firstly, we will have Tesla bots working in Tesla factories, and then other Elon Musk owned factories. And then after that, they will start being sold to other companies to work in their warehouses and their factories. And then eventually they will go out to the homes. But when will this actually happen? Well, I've heard that come 2028, they will be in the homes doing service level things like changing light bulbs, chopping vegetables, putting away groceries. But in my opinion, they won't be in homes by 2028, and it's going to take a lot longer than that. But I do think we're going to see them in factories very, very soon, especially Tesla factories, which they're actually already starting to train in. They even now have a position open for manufacturing engineering line lead. They are trying to employ someone to literally sort out the manufacturing for the Tesla bot. That means it's coming. So how does all this relate to Tesla's future and the possible stock prices? So you have the product itself, the bot, which can be sold. And the profit margins on that should be very, very high. As like I said, there is a lot less raw materials in the bot than there is in a car. And the cars already have industrial leading amazing margins. But this is where it gets exciting. Aside from just selling the product, the bot, to someone, you can also have a subscription model on these things where you have like a Tesla app store. So you order your bot and it comes with basic functions. Maybe those are things like walking, moving items around, putting away groceries, I don't know, really basic things. But then if you want to level up your bot and you want to purchase extra skills, you log on to your Tesla app store, I don't know what it will be, and then you basically purchase these additional skills. So let's say you want your bot to be able to tend to your garden or cook really, really good food. Or maybe you're in industry and you want it to be able to do a really specific certain task. Perhaps you can just buy that task and then your bot will be able to do that thing. I wanted to show you this graph to try and explain how big this potentially could be. This has actually come from Dave Lee, who makes amazing Tesla content on YouTube, so definitely check him out. But what I wanted to point out here is that the EV S-curve down here, it looks very small on this graph, right? But actually it's massive. And this alone can take Tesla to be incredibly valuable, as we've already seen. But then we have the FSD S-curve, and that S-curve is like 10 times the size of the EV one. And then we have energy, which we're not going to spend too much time on. But then you can see we have AI robotics, which is absolutely huge and way bigger than anything from Tesla that we've seen before. So this could absolutely skyrocket the value of Tesla. And the robotics S-curve isn't even at the point of inflection yet. We are still in such early days. We've not even started to grow this out, let alone get to the point of maturation on this. It could be absolutely massive. Of course, none of this is guaranteed, and this is not financial advice. But I hope you found this video interesting. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.